It was just after sunset when Emily sat quietly on the porch of a small roadside diner, her suitcase beside her, eyes fixed on the horizon. She looked like someone who had finally given up, but no one could have guessed the storm she had just survived. Emily was a young woman in her late 20s, a former high-flying marketing executive in New York. Her life looked perfect from the outside. She had the car, the apartment, the fancy business cards, but inside, she was falling apart. Her fiancé, Darren, had recently broken off their engagement just 2 weeks before their wedding, leaving her with thousands in non-refundable expenses and a broken heart. To make matters worse, her boss, who had always praised her, suddenly let her go, saying her energy wasn't right for the team anymore. With nothing left to lose, Emily packed a small bag, disconnected her phone, and drove aimlessly across the country. She ended up in a quiet, forgotten town that didn't even show up clearly on GPS. There was no plan. She just wanted to disappear. At that diner, she met an elderly waitress named Helen who offered her a slice of pie on the house. There was something about Helen's presence that was comforting, like the warmth of a grandmother's hug. Emily hadn't spoken to anyone in days, but something about this woman made her open up. Through tears and broken sentences, she told her story. Helen listened quietly and then said something that changed everything. "You may think you're at the end, dear, but this might just be your beginning. Sometimes life breaks us only to rebuild us better." That night, Helen let Emily sleep in her spare room above the diner. In the days that followed, Emily found herself helping out at the diner, serving coffee, cleaning tables, even baking pies. She had no prior experience, but she learned quickly. There was a strange peace in this new rhythm. For the first time in years, she wasn't chasing deadlines, emails, or praise. She was simply living. The townspeople noticed her. They liked her energy. She listened, smiled, remembered birthdays. Slowly, they started opening up to her. A single father who struggled with raising 2 kids. A war veteran with PTSD. A teenager who secretly dreamed of leaving town to study art. Emily became part of their stories, and they became part of hers. One morning, 3 months after arriving, she left quietly. No goodbye note, no dramatic farewell. But she didn't leave empty-handed. She left behind something powerful. In the back of the diner, tucked under a stack of menus, Helen found a leather-bound notebook. On the first page it said, "For the next lost soul who walks in." Inside were stories, advice, and letters addressed to no one and everyone. Notes on heartbreak, recovery, forgiveness, and hope. Emily had turned her pain into wisdom, her journey into a gift. She had walked away, but left behind a light for others to follow. Weeks later, a young man named Jason came into the diner, clearly shaken, running from something. Helen handed him the notebook. As he began to read, he wiped his eyes, and so the cycle continued. Sometimes the most meaningful impact we leave isn't in what we take with us, but in what we leave behind. Pain can either destroy us or become the very thing that heals others. Your lowest moments may hold the seeds of someone else's salvation. If this story moved you, take a moment today to reflect on what you're leaving behind, not in terms of money or status, but in kindness, wisdom, or empathy. Share this video with someone who might need it. Subscribe to Wisdom Tales for more powerful stories that remind us what really matters. And remember, sometimes walking away is not the end, it's the beginning.